and a friend of mine has a car. When you get in, it scans your retina and it adjusts your settings because it knows that you got into the car.
I ain't buying no car like that. Fuck that.
I mean, I'm sure you can turn that function off.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't want no car
yo,
talking to me like, "Hey Terry, how you
yo, Nike,
doing?" Like, no, bro,
you
nah,
better
mind your
today.
business.
I mean, but you know
Off.
what, though, Nike?
I'm turning all that off.
Yo, but you know when I said that night, I said that when they came out with that thing where um I see the time when they came up with that thing where you can plug this thing into your car and it compares or makes sure that you're driving safely and it'll reduce your rates. I said, yeah, that sounds good, but you know what's going to happen as soon as you have an accident? A lawyer going to say, "Give me his driving. Let me. What condition was he behind the wheel?" It's only a
Yeah,
matter of time,
yeah.
you know. So,
We gotta actually on the next show, and I know we got to start, but on the
Mhm.
next show, we're gonna have to talk about what we was just talking about
Mm,
that whole
nice,
Neuralink thing, because
nice.
that that's
Neuralink,
that's gonna be some
yeah.
uh, a,
Tesla
a
Neuralink,
big information right there. Yeah,
and
that shit
they
crazy.
and Nike, you're right though. They lull us to sleep by selling us with the
Yep.
convenience of it,
Yeah.
and there will be some benefits to it, but like you said, when you play it all out, it's like, yo,
And
what
then
can
you
you,
got to die to live, so
well,
you
yeah.
got to
Well,
keep
you're
that in
gonna do
mind
it
too.
anyway. You know, you're gonna
Yeah,
die anyway.
but yeah, not that way though.
But
Anyway, hey everybody, welcome to Real Brothers for the Real World. My name is TL, and that's my man Stace, and we was
what's
just
up?
having an interesting conversation that
Yeah,
we gonna make
nice.
y'all privy to next week
Next
because
week,
we got some interesting topics for this week already set up,
absolutely.
and we appreciate y'all coming to our digital neighborhood. And Joe Black, why don't you let them know what topics we got on tap?
All right, y'all. Once again, welcome to the weekly podcast of the Real Brothers of the Real World. This is our digital neighborhood, and once again, we'd like to welcome you to it. As I run through the topics, as we always do, TL is going to put the link out there, and we like each and every one of you to click on the link and join us in the conversation as we discuss these topics. We have four that we're going to go through today. We got, is this gun violence affecting your summer moves? How do you improve the man in your mirror?
Mhm.
Operation Triggerlock, and can we ever get the village back? Can we ever get the village back? Yo, man, I don't know about you, Knight, but I think these are some nice ones.
Yeah, it's gonna
These are
be
pretty
a
good.
little heavy, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And we always come in with the real, so that's what we do.
I mean, but not only that though. I think these are some basic topics, and everybody, I'm sure, has some opinions on them. So, like we
Right.
said, man, I hope you, if you're listening, and you feel so moved to click on the link and join us because we love to get your opinion. But before we go further, Knight, do you have a random?
Yeah, I do got a random. Uh, my random is this. I got a question, and it is why are people so afraid to grow?
Mm. What do you mean by that? Why are people afraid to grow?
Yeah,
What do
yeah.
you mean,
Why
Knight?
are people afraid to grow? Like there's some people who they are complacent and they are okay with their lot in life. And you know, it's like, why not use the time that you have on this planet to do all that you can do while you're here?
Mm,
You know what
mm,
I mean? Like, to make the most out of all the opportunities you get instead of just sitting back, vegging out on the television,
mhm.
you know, and the internet, and instead of experiencing life,
Right.
experiencing the world, you know what I mean, instead
Mhm.
of being stuck in your little hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not venture out or get outside of your comfort zone
Right. True.
and
Because
experience,
that's true
actually
living.
experience life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, like I think first of all, let me say I do agree with you. I think that life is meant to be experienced, not to just let it go by. Um, because again, I think that experience is that's the spice of life. That's what makes it interesting to always be learning, always be striving, always be
Right.
thinking. But the other side of that is that not everybody, we're all not built the same. We're built differently. I think that uh, the other side of that is accepting people for who they are. You can
Right.
put things out there. Good evening. Good evening. You can put things out there and talk about your experiences, and maybe that'll spur some people to seek those things out, but also realize and respect those that don't. So
Yeah.
I think we were all built to be differently, built to be different.
Built to be different.
Yeah, yeah. We were all, we all made to be different people. We
Right.
weren't all made to grow up and strive for the same things. I think that's a part of the human experience. Somebody's experience is different from yours, and also that that kick in the butt hits people at different times. Maybe it just hasn't hit that person yet. You know what I
Right.
mean? You
Right.
know.
But I
So
also think that that's part of like if that's part of people's job is to share their experience so
agreed.
people can get
Right.
out of their comfort zone, especially when our comfort zone is not where it should be. You get
Mhm.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
b-
We still
you know what
have
I
some
mean? Like
climbing to do.
right, right, right,
Right. I mean, but that's what I said though. I said I think that, and I think that's part of our responsibility to
right,
share your experiences, not preach, but share your experience, because as they always say, even if while in the process of sharing that experience, even if one person out of the 30 listens to it and comes to you afterwards and say, yo, that sounded interesting, give me more, then
right,
you're still helping. You're
right,
still helping. So again, I agree. I think that it is our responsibility to talk to people and to share your experiences in the hopes that somebody will pick up the mantle or hear what you said, and it inspires them to do something different. But I mean,
right.
but
And that's
again,
what
man,
somebody told me. Somebody had told me, like, "Oh, your show, y'all ain't got thousands of users and thousands of people."
right,
That's not the point. That's not actually the
right,
point of
right,
our show.
right,
And what I
right,
was telling them is like our show is to reach people that want to be reached.
correct.
Or our show is if we spark the mind of one person
Mhm, mhm.
that does something down the line, then we did what we was here to do.
That's right. That's right.
It
That's
ain't
right.
it ain't about making a whole. We don't do this for the money because we ain't making
Right.
no money from this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what I try to tell people. Like people are like, how many clicks you get, or how many likes you get, or how many subscriptions you get. I mean,
Mhm.
all of that is cool,
Right.
but the
Right.
thing is, that's not what we're doing.
Now it
That was
drives you.
never
Right.
why we
Right.
started doing what we
Right.
do. You get what
You
I'm
know what,
saying?
Knight? But listen to this though. I'm glad that you said that, because as a person that has been around a lot of institutions and I see them come and go, this is part of the problem. And I'm gonna take one. I'll take a couple of them. Look at an institution in the black community. It was Freedom Theater. Freedom
Hmm.
Theater was started by, I forget the fella's name. He saw
Right
that
on Broad Street.
on Broad Street, right?
Right,
Because
right,
that's
right.
closed now. That's
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
closed now.
yeah.
It was started by, I forget his name. Because he wanted to have art and that type of activity in the neighborhood for kids. That was
Right,
his passion. That was his passion. Like, so he grind, got it started. Probably started with some little tiny building, blah, blah, blah. Went through the motions, grind for years. Finally got access to some capital and bought that building. What did he do, Nike? Eventually, you turn it over. That doesn't share that passion. They take out what they can and it dies. Now,
Right.
I'm not trying to disparage Freedom Theater, but I'm saying that's what happened to our institutions because we go in for the wrong reason.
And that
You're
happens to
supposed to be
us
doing it.
more than any other, and that happened to us specifically than
Absolutely
any
right, right.
others. Because soon here's another thing. As soon as black folks get something that catches on or catches
That's right.
fire,
It changes
that's
it.
when you
Right,
have all of these people
right,
approaching you with all this
right,
money.
right.
You can't, if you expect to do what you do for your people, you
Mm.
can't be worried about how much money it's going to bring.
Correct,
You can't
correct,
be worried
correct.
about,
How many
because you
clicks?
have to do what you do the way you've been doing it to get
Absolutely
you where
right.
you got, that get you
Absolutely right,
where you got to.
right,
You get what I'm
right.
saying? So as
Yeah,
soon as
I
these other
agree.
people start coming in, talking about some, oh yeah, we want to get in on this, or we want to do this, we want, all of a sudden now you got everybody wanting to help you.
Right,
Well, no,
right.
I didn't need. I built this. Like you know what I mean. If
This is
if,
not
if a
what.
black,
This is not the
you
purpose
know,
of it.
we don't need you now.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
I mean, and that's
But
not to say that you don't want to, because we want as many viewers as we can get, and we
no,
want as many
we
clicks.
do.
We,
That's not
we,
what
we
I'm
do
saying.
because we
Right,
want to touch. No, I know you're not saying that, but my point is that that's not why. That is not the reason that we started this. That's
right,
not the reason that we're doing
right,
this. And
right,
again, I say that all too often people get into things for the wrong reason, and that's why they don't last. Because when they're doing it for a little while and it's not making money, oh, you know what, this is not going anywhere, I'm done. And I got it.
right,
If
right,
you're going into something as a business endeavor, then yeah, put a time stamp on it. If we're not at a certain point by 8 months, I'm getting out of it. That's one thing. That's not what
right,
this was. That's not what
right,
Real Brothers was supposed
right,
to be about.
right, right,
And a person like that, they won't understand it because they're in it
right,
for the click.
right. And that's what I was taught. Like he don't get it. Like he like,
I know.
well, dude, you ain't. You know what I mean, bruh.
That's not what it's
You don't
about.
understand. It's the
Right.
people
Right.
that I do reach. It ain't the
Correct.
people who, you know
Correct.
what I'm saying?
Correct.
Like,
Correct.
man.
See, and unfortunately, and one of the things I always said though, Nike, and we saying this from when we first started. Those people like that are looking for fads. They're looking for
Right,
something that you can start.
right.
It catches fire. It might
Fad
last for
chasers.
a
Right,
year. Right. Right. It lasts for a year. They're on to the next thing, and they're cool with that. They're not interested in starting something that's going to sustain over
that
time
has substance.
and,
Right,
and of substance and build over time and last throughout the years and touches a lot of people slowly. That's not what they're looking for. Well, I mean, but if you think about it, in this day and age, that's not
that's
what the
the
goal is.
microwave age.
Everything's
That's right.
microwave,
Yeah,
right?
that's
I need to get it quick, and then you get it quick, hit it, and be done.
yep.
You know, but I don't know how we got to that. All right, I did have a random. Well, let me ask you this: it's quarter after. My random was about Curry. Are you ready to move into these topics, man? Or you want you?
Well, we
What you
can hit
think?
Curry real quick.
All right,
What you
okay.
got?
The question was, they won, and Curry now he has four. Now I never based the way that I view these legends on how many rings they have.
Right.
But the question is it now time? Can we now start throwing Seth Curry in the conversation when we talk about the GOATs, when we talk about the basketball greatest of all time? Can he now be added into the conversation?
Um, I won't say that he can be added into the GOAT conversation. Not like the GOAT of the NBA, like the greatest of all time. But he's the greatest point guard of all time. In my
Okay.
opinion.
But why not? Okay, when you talk about the GOAT, you probably talking about Jordan. You talking
Jordan,
about Kobe,
Kobe,
uh,
LeBron,
Magic, LeBron, right? So
Kareem.
what? Okay, what have those guys done that to make you say GOAT? What was it? Their
All right.
dominance.
They all right, for one, Mike. Mike is Mike. I ain't even gotta, that's it.
His dominance.
LeBron, he carried teams with me and you, with niggas like me and you playing in one you know what I'm saying? On his
Right,
back, like, come
right,
on, let's go. You know
right,
what I mean? So
right.
Kobe, same thing. Like, I don't think Curry has that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he could take
So let me
somebody.
ask you this then.
I don't think he could take four dudes from the car wash and go
Right.
win a championship. You know what
So
I'm saying? Like,
like you won't be willing to have the conversation as far as him being a GOAT unless he goes to another team with nobody and wins one.
nah. Well, if he did that, then yeah,
Well,
he's in the
true, that's part
conversation
of
or
it.
something like
But
that.
but are you saying that you will not have that conversation about him until he does that though?
Well, to me, like I said, I think he's already the greatest point guard.
Point
Well,
guard,
he's the
right?
greatest point guard I ever seen.
Right,
And I
right,
done
yeah,
seen Magic. I done seen Isaiah. Like,
right.
I'm an
Oh yeah,
old head. I've been
absolutely. We've
basketball
seen
for
him.
a while. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But as far as just the greatest player ever, no,
Now,
he
now
got too
again, like
many. It's too many other dominant
on
forces that
on his
play.
team. Now, now,
Not
now,
on
now,
his team.
now.
Nah.
I'll say this. I'll say this. I'm not here to say that he is the GOAT, but I think that you can now start adding him into the conversation because I based it on the dominance. You know, these people changed the game. These people
He
did
did
things.
change the game
He
that with the
did change.
3-pointer.
That's my
He
point.
did. He did.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, he changed
But the
Georgia,
goat
changed.
is the
I mean,
goat is a
again, I'm not
little.
calling him the GOAT, but I'm okay with throwing him into that conversation though. I think at this point now I can have see a legitimate argument with having with when you talk about the
Well, if he's
most
gonna be in the
dominant person.
conversation, you're gonna have to put him up against Mike. First, you can't. I mean, come on, like that ain't
Well,
gonna
I
work.
mean,
And then you have to put him up against, huh?
when you start talking about dominance though, I mean, are you saying that he's not as
Let's
much
say
of
you
a threat
starting a
as-
team. Let's say you a GM and you starting a
Oh,
team.
nah,
Who you taking?
it's
You
not cut
taking
and dry.
Curry or you
Like,
taking
that's not cut
Jordan?
and dry. That's not Nike. That's not cut and
I'm
dry.
saying that's the that's
I
goat.
would have to
That's
sit
goat
down and
conversation.
my
Are you
point. I
taking
would have to
Curry? Or are you taking Jordan?
let me answer that. I would have to truly sit down and think about that because with that
Come
dude,
on, man.
I'm serious. No, I mean, so to you, to
That's what
you,
I say. Get
to
the
you,
fuck
like
out
it's
of
cut and
there.
dry. It's
Get
cut
the
and dry.
fuck out of there.
Like
You
no
going you going
consideration at
if
all.
you starting a team,
Right.
you
I
gonna
heard the
draft
question.
him. You gonna say, should I take Michael
Night,
Jordan
night,
or should I take
night.
Curry?
So you saying
Nah,
you with no
nah,
consideration at all? When
nah,
you got that guy on your
nah.
team, like that no one could do anything with.
Knowing what I know about Mike,
Mm,
nah,
I
nah,
got you. Okay,
nah.
I'm okay with that. With throwing him in there. All right, man.
All right.
You ready, man? You
Yeah.
ready, man? You ready to jump into these topics?
Yeah,
All
let's
right,
jump into the topics.
all right. We got four here. Okay, and then let me know which one you want to go first. All right, don't forget, y'all. And those of you that are out there checking this out, feel free. The link is out there. We welcome you to click on the link and join in as we start to delve into these conversations. The first one, Nike, is all this violence affecting your summer moves? How do you improve the man in your mirror? Operation Triggerlock, and we will explain what that is if that's the direction that we're going to go in. And can we ever get the village back? Can we ever get the village back? Where you want to go now? I think I know, but where you want to go, man?
I want to go with the topic that we've been having on the agenda for like 2 weeks and we never got to it. And
Oh,
that's how do you improve the man in the mirror?
right. Okay. So what are your thoughts on it?
Well, first tell them how that came up as to what you were, because this is one of the ones that you had put on the
Right.
so
As a part of growth, I think a big part of growth, I think, is just in your quiet time, just sitting back and taking an honest look at yourself, faults and all. Who am I? What am I doing? Kind of branches off to the question we talked about before. Your legacy. Who's that man in the mirror? But then once you start thinking about that, then I think you have to start thinking about what can I be doing better? What can I be doing better? Or how can I improve this person? So that's where it came from. What do you do to improve the man in the mirror? And let me go first on it then, because I think that's what it comes for me. That's what it comes back to. Like, I think it comes back to being able to basically step outside of yourself and take an honest, hard look at yourself. like I said, especially the flaws, especially the flaws,
Mhm.
because when you focus on the flaws, that's the way you improve. I mean, I'm not to say that you don't want to hear the good, but no, if you want me to improve, you have to tell me the bad, and then I can work on them. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right.
And that could be tough because I mean, I'm where I am now, but I look at I look at my flaws like, yo, Stace. I mean, the position that you're in now, where you are now in your life, the things that you did wrong, how do you improve those? Be better with your kid. How do you improve your next relationship? You know what I mean? And they can be tough. They can be tough because
Yeah.
then you also have to consider the things that you did bad, the wrong that you've done in the past.
Right, right.
You know,
And
and,
that,
and
and that's a good point that you like when you said what you've done in the past, and they call
mm,
that karma, right?
mm, true.
One one thing that people have trouble with, and then not just black people, just
Yeah, yeah.
people in general, right?
Mhm.
Is that there's this thing called self-awareness.
True, true, true.
A lot of people, and you'll be surprised, but a lot of people don't have self-awareness
Mm,
because I don't even think that I thought I was self-aware,
mm,
but until I started expanding my knowledge on certain things and expanding my when I started like doing meditation and that sort of
mhm,
thing,
mhm,
I started to go inside my. I'm gonna tell you, and I told you this a few podcasts ago. It might have been a bunch of podcasts ago, but I'm
mhm,
gonna bring it up again. When my son died, right,
mhm,
and speaking of karma,
mm,
I
mm,
had to I had to reevaluate everything in my life,
mm,
and I and I couldn't do it because even though my son had passed, life had to continue. So I still had
mm,
to work. I still had to, we still was doing doing what we do. We was doing the podcast. No, we didn't do the podcast until after. But
After, right, right.
yeah, but I still had to do. And then when I went into the when I had
Mhm.
the nervous
Episode.
breakdown,
Mhm.
I had enough time to go into that facility and I could be by myself, and there was no distractions. There was no like there would I didn't have outside forces or outside people, you know, coming at me. I didn't have work. I
All that
didn't have
noise.
bills. I didn't have anything.
Mm.
So I had time to reflect. And that reflection, I know it's gonna sound like they like this nigga crazy and all that, but that reflection that I was able to actually go inside myself.
Yeah,
And
that's what it
and this
takes.
ain't gonna make sense to some people,
Oh, but that's
but
what it takes, though.
that's I was able to find myself. You know what I mean? And when I came out of there, I was a whole different. I was a whole different person.
Right,
Like,
right.
and then some people who knew the old,
Mm.
who knew the old me,
Right,
right?
right.
They like, man, this nigga acting all different. It's
Mm.
not that I'm acting different. I am different.
Yeah, I was gonna say you are different,
You get
right?
what I'm saying?
You're a
Like,
different
it's
person,
not that
right?
I'm being brand new, but I am
Right,
being brand
right,
new. Like,
right, right,
I'm not fronting
right,
on you,
right.
but
I'm
I'm
different.
brand new. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
So that was my version of looking in the mirror when I had to, because either I was going to let my son die and destroy me,
Mm.
and I was going to let the pressure of my job and the pressure of you know just everything.
Right,
Either I
because
was
it's
going to let it
always out there.
destroy me, or I was like, there has to be something different.
So
And
does
then
it? So would you? I mean, is it? Does it take something like traumatic to kick a person to make them become that?
Sometimes it does, Stacey, and let me tell you why. Sometimes it does take something traumatic because we so busy on that
Mm,
hamster wheel. You know
right,
what I mean? We so busy
day to day. Right, right,
and
right.
not just chasing, but surviving, right?
Surviving. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
don't really have time to think
Mm,
about
Right.
Like, you know,
What am I doing?
and what kind of person am I?
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Or we
Right.
don't have time to self-reflect.
Mm.
But
Right.
sometimes you got to make that time. And
True.
some people do. Some people
Right.
get fed up with the rat race and they
Right.
like, look, I got to slow down. But
Mm.
then for other people, see, my problem was, and this, I thought I was, I thought I was good.
Mm.
You know what I
Mm.
mean? Because
Mm.
I had a nice
Whatever.
whatever. I
Right.
had a
Right.
nice house and
Mhm.
da da da
Mhm.
and all that. That shit don't mean nothing, Stace.
Right.
That shit
Right.
don't mean a thing.
As it
Like
relates to the person that you are, right?
it don't even a house is a house is a house, bruh. Like
Mhm.
a car, if a car gets you from A to
One
B,
thing- That's right. That's right. Yeah.
it ain't got to have nobody name on it.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
and that's my whole like. I had to break myself out of the like the comfort zone that we was talking
Mm.
about earlier.
Right. Right.
I
Right.
had to break myself out of the comfort zone because realizing that I thought I was comfortable, but I wasn't really comfortable
Right. So,
was
so
where
unless something happened, you would not have realized that you weren't.
right
Be,
in my
I mean,
particular
and you
case,
know what's
yeah,
funny?
right,
And Nike, I agree with that because as a man, we push forward.
right,
That's what we do. We push forward. So until something slows you down, you're just gonna continue to push forward. You know
right.
what I mean? So
And
I mean,
sometimes things that knock you on your ass
knock
and
you
make you
right.
soul
Make you
search.
well as you know what now
Like,
as the Bible. Now listen to
why
this.
is this shit
Actually, listen
happening
to
to
this
me?
tonight. Well,
Huh?
I'm gonna tell you something that's in the Bible. It says, "Be still." That's what it's talking about.
That's
Slow
exactly what
down.
it's talking about.
Slow down and just listen. Soak it
Right.
up. But I mean, but let me ask you this
And
then.
I'm not an advocate for the
I
Bible.
know you're
I'm
not,
just
but that's why
saying,
I
but
said that.
there's some things in the Bible that are actually true.
Right,
There's a lot
right.
of horse
Or at
shit in
least good
there,
advice. At least good
but
advice.
there's a lot of things in there that are true. And
Correct.
that one that you
Correct.
just stated is an actual fact.
Yeah, be
Sometimes
still.
you just
It's
have to
good
be
for it.
still
Right.
and
Right.
let the hurricane blow around you, man,
Right.
and
Right.
just be still and be inside yourself.
I mean,
Like,
because I look at, I look at the same thing. I was running, doing doing whatever it is that I was doing. And, I look at, marriages failing and, relationships failing. And it's like, yo, at some point you sit back like, okay, what role did I play in that?
right.
And again, but I think that that's the only way that you
It makes
grow.
you soul
Right,
search.
right,
Like,
right,
why is all this bullshit happening to me?
right,
And you don't
right,
realize it's not
mm,
everybody else.
right, right, right,
It's
right, right,
you. You
right,
know what I
right.
mean? And that's the
That's
hard
the tough
part.
part. That's the tough
That
part.
and that's just human.
What
That's just
role did I
human
play?
nature.
Right,
That's the right
right.
to that is just human nature when you become self-aware. You're
Self-aware.
like,
Right,
God damn,
right,
was
right.
I an asshole this whole
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
Or was I that fucked up? And I
Because you
thought I was
can't
doing
because you can't change it until you acknowledge it.
right,
Because
right,
it's almost like a drug addict.
right,
The first thing they want you to say is, "Hi, my name is Stacy, and I'm on drugs." Because
right.
if you're saying, "Well, I'm not on drugs, I just like to get high a lot," you're gonna keep making excuses, keep doing it. Yeah, I mean,
What you trying to say,
you
Stace?
no, no,
Why you
no,
had
no,
to take
no,
it there?
no,
Like, no, I'm
no.
just playing.
You know what I'm
I'm just
saying?
playing.
So it's like you said, like, a part of that self-awareness, you won't improve that man in the mirror until you can take an honest
Self-reflect. You gotta
self-reflect.
self-reflect, man.
And,
Yeah, you got
nice.
to.
You got to be able to reflect. You got to be able to acknowledge the man that's being reflected back to you in the
Be
mirror.
self-aware and
That's
be
right.
willing.
Right.
You know what? Also, a lot of people aren't willing to accept their flaws.
Mm, mm, mm. Right.
That's a
True.
big one.
True. That's a
That's a
big one.
big one
Right.
because
Right.
people are in denial.
Mm,
First of all, oh, that's just the way he is, or that's
right.
just the way she is.
Right.
No, no, that shit is fucked up.
Right.
And
Right.
somebody, she needs to realize it's fucked up. You
Mm,
know what I mean? Like, yeah,
mhm.
but
Yeah. Yeah. Or at least, like, I think, be able to acknowledge that I played a role in it. No, nobody's
mm-hmm.
100%. No, not when
No,
it comes.
nobody's 100%,
Nobody's
but
100%.
that's the
But
goal to work towards that
correct.
100%.
And
You know what I mean?
therefore I did play a role in it. And
Right,
what do I do to make sure that I don't bring that to the next one so that I'm a better person on the other side?
right.
So I guess to answer the question, the way to improve the man in your mirror is to acknowledge the true person that person is.
Yep.
You
Because you
know,
can't start improving if you don't think it's nothing to improve.
correct. Like you said, you were looking in the mirror like, nah, oh, that no dude, nice.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I'm the shit. I
Right,
got this, I got
right,
that,
right,
I'm doing
right.
this, I'm
Yeah,
doing that.
yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah,
then, you know what I'm saying? Then I
yeah.
had to really look at what's going on. I'm like, man, my shit fucked up just like everybody else's.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean? Yeah, I'm like, damn, fucked up out here.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice,
But you know,
nice.
that's all a part of it. Yeah.
That's part of growth, man. All right. All right. You ready for the next one, man?
That was pretty good, man.
That was pretty good, Nike. I mean, but that was cathartic. You know, that was cathartic because sometimes
I don't know
you
what that word means, but I think it's good.
healing, healing,
Oh, all
healing.
right. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's
Okay.
healing.
All
You
right.
know,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
you know, in your quietness, like sometimes you think it's just you going through it. You know,
Right.
you think that it's you, like you just said. You think that it's just you in this effed up place.
And I'm gonna tell
But
you
to
something
know,
else.
mhm.
People think that meditation is bullshit.
No, 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 no. Oh yeah,
Yo,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the best thing that ever happened
Yeah,
to me.
I
Well,
agree.
not the best. I ain't gonna say that.
One of them.
It's not the
That's
best
right.
thing that ever happened.
So
But
one of them.
me finding that and being able to
Right. That's right.
bring
Because you
my
can't,
bring
you
my
know, all night, because you can't lie to your mind. So no matter what
can't.
you do, when you start
No matter
meditating,
what you do.
that realness is
And that's
coming out.
why now I used to get, I used to be kind of like, I wasn't a people person, and I
Mhm.
used
Right,
to
right.
get
True,
angry
true. No,
about
you
dumb.
weren't. Right,
I'm just saying, I'm just
right,
caught.
right,
Like you
right.
could tell that I know that I found
Mhm,
who
mhm,
because I wasn't a people person. I got angry over dumb shit. You know what I
mhm,
mean? Ready to
mhm.
fight and all
That's
that
right.
bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
But now, you know what I found out?
Mm.
Anger and being mad. Those are useless emotions.
Useless.
Useless. You hear what I'm
Unless,
saying?
unless it's either
It's
you or
no
me.
unless. Being angry.
Oh no, 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 not
Okay.
angry. Right, 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 right. Correct.
Being mad and angry. Those are useless emotions.
Yeah.
And I learned that
Mm.
because when I finally realized why I was the way I was, right?
Wow.
And this was not just meditation, but I
Right,
had therapy and all
right.
that shit too. Those are useless emotions because anger only lowers your vibration for
Mm,
one,
mm.
and it doesn't solve anything.
Problem is still the problem is still
If you
there.
do something to me and I
Mhm.
get angry,
That's not solving the problem.
you
Right,
still did it,
right,
and we still ain't get to a.
right.
And a lot of us as black people, we have
As I
to
said,
realize
especially
that as
black men.
well.
Yeah.
That all this anger that we holding on to, you got to let it go
Shai
because
said that too. Shai said
yeah,
that, you know, he repeated a conversation that he and I had a long
hmm
time ago in the car. And I forgot that I asked him the question, but apparently it made him pause like, whoa, because the question was, yo, why are you so mad? Why are you so angry? Why are you angry? And he was
yeah,
like, remember he said that one of the day he was
right,
on
right,
the
yeah,
podcast,
and
you
that's the
know.
thing. And being angry will never solve a problem,
True,
right? It'll
true.
probably be being angry will only create a bigger problem,
Mm,
or
right.
or 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 make that problem that you have
Make it worse. That's
fester
right.
and fester. Well,
Right.
it's the same thing. Yeah, yeah, it'll make the problem bigger.
That's right.
So I choose not to get angry. And
Mm,
when I say I choose not to get angry,
right. It's a choice.
it's a choice.
Right.
Like if somebody come up and call me nigga right now,
Mm,
there's a time I probably blow his head off.
mm-hmm.
But now I can look at him and be like, you know, feel a certain compassion for
Mm-hmm.
him because he's stupid.
Right,
You know
right,
what I
right,
mean?
right, right. Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
you can.
I'm like, and I'm not willing to bring I'm not willing to bring my vibration
To have that
down
person's
to
level. Right.
their level.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you ain't up here with me, why
Right.
would I
Right.
even
Right.
talk
Right.
to you?
Right. Right.
Like
Right.
why?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
know, it's funny.
There's no
You know
point.
what? And I know we want to move on, but that goes back to the conversation we had when I said the dude in the store was like, "Did you say something?" And it affected me. You were just like, that's where he is.
Like
That's
yeah, I'm
what I'm
like,
saying.
well, did you say something?
Right? Did you say
Well, then
something?
why you mad? Like,
Right, right,
you
yeah.
mad?
That it goes back
Yeah,
to
like
that.
that's where I'm at now, Black.
Yeah.
I'm like, bruh, it take a like if somebody was threatening my family or doing
Mhm.
something like that, I still wouldn't be mad.
Right.
I
Right.
would
Right.
do something
Right.
about it,
You got to
but
deal with the
not in,
problem.
but
Right.
I would deal with the problem, but not
Right.
in a not in
Emotional.
a spirit, right? Not emotionally or
Right.
not in a spirit of anger or madness. You
Right.
get what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So you ready, man? All right. We
Yeah.
have is this violence affecting your summer moves? Operation Triggerlock, and can we ever get the village back? What are
Ooh,
your
you
thoughts?
pick now. I picked the first one. What you got?
All right. Since you know what? Okay. Can we ever get the village back?
Okay.
I was thinking about that. Um, I was in the store the other day. Me and Say was out there. You know, he went away to a summer camp, so we went in the store, messing around. You know, he comes with me a couple of days, etc. And we were just having a conversation, and I forgot exactly what was said, but I know that we often have conversations talking about it takes a village, blah blah blah, you know, etc. And it had started me thinking, when we make that statement, is that simply nostalgia, where we're reflecting on something positive that we had years ago, and not facing the reality that those times aren't coming back? You know, in today's day and age, the way families are and the way we interact with each other, like you said, on social media, you know, it's not as much face to face time as it was before. Is that just something that we could look back on fondly, but that those times are gone?
Well, those times are gone, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why they're gone, and I'm gonna tell you how we can get it back. The reason, and think about when you were young, right?
Mhm.
And you on your block, right? You had a block captain,
Mm.
right? You had or they would set up days when y'all would come out, when everybody would come out their house and have
Clean
a
the
street
neighborhood. Right.
cleaning.
Yep.
You know
Paint
what I'm
the dirt.
saying?
Yep.
Everybody would
Yeah.
take care of their property.
Mhm.
Everybody would like paint the curb. It was a community back then.
Mm. Mm.
It was now I ain't gonna front. It was fucked up back then
Mhm.
too, but
Mhm.
we was fucked up together.
Correct.
You get what I'm
Correct.
saying?
Correct.
Like everybody when you was getting free cheese, right?
Mm.
Or when the free no, I'm just saying,
I
like,
know. I know some
the free cheese and the free shit
oatmeal
and
or
the
whatever it was.
powdered
Right. Yeah.
milk and all that
Right.
bullshit. It was no, we people got that shit as a community.
Correct.
You know what I
Correct.
mean?
Mm.
And if you needed some, or if you didn't have some, oh yeah, we got this, we
Right.
got that, we got this. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Come on over and send
And
Larry over to get it. Right.
right, you get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And the thing is, even though we was fucked up back then, we was fucked up together. We was
Mm.
still together.
Right.
Like your neighbor, when you came home from school, let's say you got locked out, right?
Mm. Mm. Right.
You could go knock on your neighbor's door and say, Miss,
Amen.
Miss Jeanette or Miss
Right.
Jessie,
Right.
I'm locked out. Can I stay? They
Mm.
say, yeah, baby, come on over.
If they didn't
And
have
then
a key,
huh?
if remember what
If they
sometimes
didn't
they
have a
never had
key,
the
right,
key.
right.
Right.
If they
Right.
didn't have a key, they might have
Right.
had a spare key, and
Mm-hmm.
then they invite you in, may give you a
Feed you.
sandwich or
Right.
feed you, and
Right.
here, do your homework until your
Right.
parents get home,
Yep.
or if you got in some trouble
Mm-hmm.
and the neighbor found out, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
All that shit.
Yeah.
But
Right.
now, see, then they flooded our neighborhood, even though we ain't had shit, right?
Mm.
They said no, they still together. They
Mm.
still together, and they still a community.
Which is
We on
powerful.
we gotta
Which is powerful.
that right. That they go that kind of shit will rise up. So we gotta
Mm.
fuck all that up.
Wow.
So next thing you know, here come the cocaine, here come the crack, and all that shit, right?
Mm.
Just think about this. When we were back in the 80s, did you know anybody that had a plane or a boat?
Nope. On Miami Vice. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They flooded our neighborhoods with that shit. Remember Oliver North
Yep. Yep.
and the
Yeah.
Contras and all that?
Yeah.
That shit is real, man. They plan this shit out years in advance.
So
And
do
then
you
we
think
had
though? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
no,
Go
no,
ahead.
no. Go ahead.
So with all that being said, I mean, do you think that so you said that you're going to tell me how we get it back? I mean, so
We
with that being
lost
said,
3 generations,
mm,
right?
mhm,
Because we had babies raising themselves,
that didn't know what they were doing.
Then we
Right.
had the grandparents raising the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Then the grandparents is on crack. You know what I'm saying? We
Right.
lost like 3 generations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we are today.
Mm.
Because the people that are adults now were those same kids who was in the street in the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
who didn't have, had their parents around, mom and daddy on crack, brother,
Right.
sister on crack, everybody on crack, and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's the same thing with the opioids. Now they affecting the poor white people
Mm.
with that shit as well.
That's why it's a
You get
problem.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now they got us all bunched together in this,
Right.
you
Now,
get what I mean?
Knight, I do think though, I think one of the differences is that we have a little more knowledge than we did before.
But do we use it?
Well, now that's a good point. You know what? Enough of us don't, but I do see though, Nike. I see a lot of people out there trying to do good. Trying to do good, and I think our generation, and the generation but below us realize that village and that community and how powerful it was, and I think we've come to a realization that we have to bring it back, that we have to work together. You know what I mean?
It's coming back, but we're not going to get it back as quickly as we
No,
lost.
no. Agreed. I agree with that totally.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there are people. There's us. We got
Right.
our thing going.
Yep.
There's a few a few other people that I know off the top of my, like, I was supposed to go yesterday to DC with the
I
Poor
saw the
People's
email.
Campaign.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They turned up yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
But see, it's going to take more than that.
Right.
It's,
Right. Yeah.
it's going
Absolutely.
to, it's take like I've been preaching on this since we've been on. It's going to take, we had, in order for us to make any type of change that will be sufficient for us to make change, we have to hit their pockets. You know what I mean? Because that's the only thing. That's the bottom line to all of their shit.
See,
They
but
don't
now
want to lose. They don't want to
listen
lose
to it.
money because they don't want to lose power.
But I think though, Nike, the things that we just mentioned though, I think what it takes to get the community back, I think it's us. I think it's us realizing
That's
that.
yeah.
So I mean, I don't think it's a matter of hitting their pockets. I think it's a matter of us deciding to rise up and to come together. Screw them. I
But
think
see, that's the thing, Stace. We can't rise. We can't, as long as they up here controlling everything. We can say we want to rise up, or we can try to rise up, but they have everything on their side already. They control what you see. They control what you think. They control what you
not what you think. They don't control
to.
what you think. They don't control. No. Nobody. They can attempt to control what you think, but no one controls your mind but you. You control what you allow to come in. You control how you process it. I won't agree with that, Night. I don't. No one
The
controls
average person. I'm talking about the average person.
But I think we're
programmed. Wait. Let me.
Okay.
The average person is programmed through television, social media,
Yep.
The phones,
Right.
religion,
Mm-hmm.
the banking system, the government.
No, I agree with all of that, but even with
So
all of those, with all of those outside forces, Nike, I still think the person that has the ultimate say in how they move around here is the individual, is the person. Like I said, I mean, yeah, you're right. Those outside forces are forces and they're influencers. But again, it's up to the person. It's up to us.
It is. But do you know how hard it is for a person
very
to think
hard.
outside the box?
It's
When
hard.
you got the news media every day. Bad
Right.
news, bad news, bad news, bad news, bad news, bad news. Gas
Agreed.
prices. So I gotta choose whether I don't got time to think about what they doing to me because I got to think about how to survive what they doing to me. You get what I'm saying?
True.
So now I gotta. Am I gonna pay for gas to get to work, or am I going to eat,
Mm-hmm.
or am I going to get another job so I can do both?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So you
Yeah.
don't really have time to analyze what's going on. You're always in a reactionary mode. You're
Mm-hmm.
always reacting to whatever shit that they put in front of you. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm saying, where it's going to be hard for us to change it, unless it's going to be hard
It
for
is
us to
hard.
change it
Mm-hmm.
until we take them out of power.
Mm.
As long as they're up here and they're controlling, they're pulling the strings to everything, it's going to be hard for us to it's going to be hard for us to get everybody on the same page.
Right.
And that's the problem.
Right.
That's the
Yeah.
problem.
That's the problem. Right.
That's the
That's
problem
the
right there.
community. You
Getting
talk about
everybody on the
community.
same page. It's
Right.
going to happen,
Yeah.
but that is where we are right now, and that's
Mhm.
what we have to do to change it. We got to get everybody on the same page.
Right. Right.
You know
Or
what
at
I
least
mean?
enough of us. At
Enough
least
of us,
enough of
right?
us.
A majority of us
A,
gonna
a
have to do the
majority of
same.
us. Right. Right.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
But so to wind this one down, and I sounds like it sounds like we agree that
Mm-hmm.
we do think that we can get that village back.
We can, but
It's
it's
gonna
going to
take
take
work.
some
Oh
time.
yeah,
It's going to take a lot of time.
it's a lot of time, a lot of work.
But
Um,
it's possible. But like I said, it's only possible if we take away money equals power.
mm-hmm,
So we have to take away the money that we provide to them,
mm-hmm,
and that will uh, have an effect on their power. And
mm-hmm.
until we do that, you know,
They're gonna
it,
always be hovering around. Right, right.
right,
All
right.
right, all right, Nike. So we got two more. We have is this violence affecting your summer moves and Operation Triggerlock?
I want to go with the summer move.
Summer moves. All right.
Yeah, is this
Okay.
affecting your summer move?
Yeah, yeah. So well, what are your thoughts? I mean, do you want me to kind of delve into
Uh,
where that came from? All right, while you type it up,
yeah. Well,
again,
go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
this one again was another conversation. I was actually when this one came up, I was in the store with my son Savion, and the three of us was having a conversation. This was this one, right? This was
Yeah,
the one.
that's what the one. Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
one.
just thinking about as Father's Day coming and picnicking and people doing things out out in the street and out in the park with all of this violence going on. Is it slowing you down, or is it making people say, no, I'm not going to do that because things are too crazy, or I'm not going to go, I'm not going to sit on my steps, or I'm not going to put the grill out because I don't want to get caught in the crossfire. Now, let me say this before you answer, Nike. Remember when we posed that question to Savion, he said yes. Remember?
Yeah,
He said it makes, when he's thinking about all the violence and everything that happens, it makes him think twice about, I think he said, going out to play ball around the corner, something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know,
And I can see that. You know what I
right,
mean?
right, yeah. So what are your thoughts on it, though, man? All this violence, do you think it affects summer moves?
It does, because even here in North Carolina, right?
Mm.
I always, when I'm making moves or when I'm going certain places, I still got my, and that's
Mm,
just because I'm from Philly, I guess, you know
right,
what I mean? But I
right,
still have my head on the swivel
right.
because I know how hard, because I know, for one, how hard it is out here, right?
Mm-hmm.
For one, like, people robbing and stealing. I'm not making excuses for
Right,
everyone,
I
because
understand.
some
Right.
people are just assholes. But some people are robbing and stealing because they hungry. Some
Mm,
people are robbing and stealing because you know what I mean? Like, some of the unnecessary violence is bullshit. But I
mhm.
do understand the people who are trying to make ends meet. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
Trying to
For
eat.
survival. Hmm.
Right. Survival of the fittest.
Hmm.
But and here's another thing. So, I usually come to Philly a few times a summer. I move different when I come to Philly than from when I used to, you know what I mean?
Mm,
I don't
right,
hang on the block,
right. Yeah.
hang on the corner and all
No,
of that.
remember we had that conversation with Phil and them, remember?
Right, yeah,
That's one
yeah.
of the things he
I
said.
I say what's up, keep it moving, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And here's another thing. And I know I just said how, I'm above,
Mm, hmm.
all of the the violence and all of the anger and all that. But when I come to Philly, I still got my thing because not that I'm looking to do anybody harm, but I'm not willing to die just
Being
because you
oblivious.
are
Right.
willing. I'm not
Right.
willing to die just because you ready for me to die. Like I'm not
Right.
ready to die because you ready
Right.
for me to die.
Right.
You
Right.
know what
Right.
I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. So you
So
talking like protecting yourself.
right, and it ain't that has nothing to do with anger. That's just like
No,
y'all
no,
say,
no.
it's
That's common
survival of
sense.
the
It's protect
fittest.
yourself.
You,
Right.
you,
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, so it does affect my moods, man. And it should affect your mood because if you
Yeah.
going out
It's
there like
reality.
and you
Right.
ain't,
Right. Right.
you being
Right.
all goofy,
Yeah. Yo,
shit,
but
man, you'll get laid out.
that's a sad that's a sad state though,
It is.
And
It's
again,
very sad.
you have to because it's the reality. So you have to move based on the way things are versus the way you want them to be. So it's a sad
Right.
state, but I think it has. I mean, there were times when you were ready to go out. It's like, all right, let's go. Now it's where can I go?
Right.
Where can I go? Especially if you're talking about going somewhere when you're going to be drinking and being social and maybe a party or something like that. It's like, okay, who's going to be there? What kind of person is going to be there? You
You
know,
remember when we was get ready to do the show down at
right?
do the live show down
Yeah, that's what I was talking
York
about.
Street?
30th Street. Yep.
Everybody's like, "Yo, bro, you
Yo,
sure
yeah,
you
you
want
might
to do
want to
that?" Like,
reconsider that.
man, they
Right.
riding
Yeah,
through here like shooting up
yeah,
everybody, and I'm
right,
like,
right,
for
right.
us, like, you know what I mean? We was getting ready to start a basketball league right there because they got the new courts up and
Right.
everything.
Yep. That's what dudes
We
out
got
his
the real
commercial.
brothers. We got the real brothers banner hanging on the hanging on the court.
Hmm.
But then
Hmm.
everybody's like, man, that what I mean, we can't put that together because what I mean, they going crazy with the shooting down here, and
Yo,
I'm like, it's
Nike. The other
crazy.
side of that is that I mean, again, you have to be mindful and aware of the way things are actually are. You can't ignore something that's staring you in your face. But the other side of that is that you can't live in fear, though. We can't just say, all
Right.
right, I'm just going out to work to the supermarket and that's it. Because that's no type of existence either.
But you have to live in a certain amount of fear just to like what I was saying about the basketball league.
Hmm.
Even though we got a sign up saying "Real
Whoa,
Brothers,"
wow! Somebody put a.
you know, just because we have a sign up saying "Real Brothers," right?
Mhm.
That don't mean that somebody gonna say, "Oh, that's real brothers. That's
Right,
real
right,
brother
right. Yeah.
shit right there."
Nah,
We
nah.
can't
Yeah.
lay nobody down.
Off
They
hands.
could be
Right.
shooting at somebody else, and if we got kids out there playing basketball, one of them get hit or
Mm.
one of them get shot, then that's kind of on us. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Let me read
So
this.
that's why
Go
we
ahead, go
didn't.
ahead.
That's one of the reasons why we didn't do it,
Right.
and
Yeah.
that that's not actually fear, but it's actually trying to protect our kids.
Right. 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 Right.
You
Yeah.
get what I'm
And that's what I
saying?
said. I mean, if that's the reality, you have to live in it. But unfortunately, it's a catch 22 because then if everyone stays in,
Right.
then it basically gets worse because there's nobody out there. There are not enough eyes in the street. All right.
Hey, let me read this
You want to read this one?
comment
Okay.
by Amira.
Okay.
Hey, Amira, how you doing?
How you doing,
Hit the
Amir?
link and come on and talk to us. She said, I don't even want to live in this city anymore. I love the outdoor block events, but I'm leery on attending them now, especially with my children.
Mm.
I go outside the city just to take my children to the playground. I'm
Wow.
overly cautious going to going grocery shopping or even just walking to the corner store. I'm
Wow.
not at peace anymore.
Wow.
And right. I
That right.
always
That's
love
big.
Philly, but not to the point of my children's safety or even mine and my husband's safety. I was caught in a crossfire just
Mm.
trying to get gas on Broad
Wow.
Street.
See, and
And I
that's what
get
it is.
and
It's,
that's
yeah,
real. That's
yeah,
real. That's
yeah,
real
yeah,
shit. And this
yeah.
thing, she ain't the only one that feel like that.
Right,
That's
right.
real,
And
man.
it's the
That's real
randomness of
shit.
it. It's the
Right.
randomness of it.
Right. That's
I
real
think if
shit.
it was just the knuckleheads killing each other off, that would be terrible too. But it's the
Right.
fact that, like she just said, the thought
Right.
of you just being somewhere minding your business, getting caught in the
In the
crossfire, in
wrong place at the
the wrong
wrong
place, wrong
time.
time. Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right. Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I was saying. Like, it's hard to have like a basket. Remember back when we was kids, Stace? We had block
That's
parties.
right. That's right.
Uh,
You put the water plug up. That's right.
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 You know what I mean?
Right.
We
Yeah.
had the water plug going,
Yeah.
spraying cars when they go
That's
by,
right.
stuff like
You
that.
like you couldn't spray a car
You
now. You
couldn't
can't
spray
spray
a car
somebody
right
with
now.
a
Somebody
water
go
gun. You can't
what?
do that now. Yo,
That's
you just
crazy
can't.
though. You know what I
You
mean?
right. I mean that something as simple
That's
as that.
how
Because
much
remember,
our society has devolved.
agree. Devolved. You're right. You're right. Devolved, Nike. Before, when the water plug was up, you put your water in your blood and you chase people around to wet them up. Remember?
Yeah, we had buckets. You
You
had
had
like, you know
buckets,
what I mean?
right?
All that.
And,
You know what
and
I'm
remember
saying?
the
And it was
person?
fun.
It was fun. Don't throw that water on me. You chase them around and you get them.
Right. Yep.
You can't
It
do
was
that now.
fun.
You
Now
can't
and
do that now,
now
man. You get
you
shot.
can't do it. Yeah, you get
You
shot for
get
that.
shot. And now listen to this. When I was having a conversation with someone a little while ago, and I was saying what a lot of people don't realize is that it's almost like we're right back where we were in the 90s when they brought out three strikes and you're out. This is what our parents were saying. Kids getting caught in the crossfires and self-destruction, and then our parents who were just trying to live, just trying to make it, started saying to the politicians, "You have to do something because we can't continue this way." And then they came out with three strikes, you're out, and here we
Yeah,
are.
but see, Stace, that didn't help our community, right? Because
There were
think about
unintended
think of
consequences. I agree.
it didn't help our community because first of all, think about who the three strikes was on,
Yeah, that's right.
right?
That's right. Yeah.
Now you got all of our fathers in jail,
Yep.
right?
Records. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
So
unfortunately,
that
like,
didn't help, but that's not the solution. Three strikes is
it's
not
not.
the solution.
It's
Because
not.
to be honest, I'm lucky I'm here because I was on my three strike shit.
You were right there.
Yeah. And
Just
the man
told you.
told me,
Yeah.
you come back through here one more time. All I
Then
gotta do
you-
is just see you one more time.
mm,
And
mm.
you ain't never going home.
See,
So that was my wake up call
Nike,
right there.
but the problem is though, Nike. Think about what Iran, the young lady said. I don't like the city. I'm not safe. So I have to take my kids outside of the neighborhood to go to the playground. Or you keep them in the house and let them play on the, or keep them in the house and let them play on a video game. After a while, you start saying, do something. You have to do. We can't just say three strikes you're out is not the right answer. Let's
They
not do
don't
anything.
but see, you have to say do something. But see, they not going to do something. We've been saying do something, like you said. We've been saying do something since the 90s. Only thing they going to do is say, "Oh,
Lock them up.
we got
Lock
a
'em
chance
up.
to lock these boys up again." Here we go.
Yeah.
And that brings
Yeah.
us to our next topic, actually. But what
Whoa,
I'm saying,
nice segue.
but what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
I understand. Like there's a lot of people in Philly that feels exactly the way
Right.
Amira does,
That's
and,
right.
and life shouldn't
The
have to
whole
be
energy
that
has
way.
changed. The energy is different
Right.
in
The
this
whole
city now, man.
energy, when I come to Philly now, that's not the Philly I grew up in.
Correct.
The whole energy of Philly is different.
Correct. You're right.
All right.
Right. The energy is different. All right.
And that's
Last
a good
topic,
segue into
Good
our
segue.
last topic, which
which
is
is Operation
Triggerlock.
Triggerlock. Just to give a quick background, I was reading some article or something, and it came across my feed where there was a collaboration, and I think you just pulled it up and looked at it. Some people may have seen it already. There's a collaboration in the city because apparently there's a shortage of cops. A collaboration between the city and the state where now state troopers are patrolling the neighborhood with the Philadelphia Police Department, the state troopers. So, well, okay, let me ask you. Do you want to ask me my opinion or do you want to give me, or you?
I'm gonna let you roll with it. I'm gonna let you roll with it. Go ahead.
As you lean back,
Let you roll with it.
Like,
I know what you're gonna say. You like this. You like.
Could you please send me a
Hey,
trooper?
would you please?
Yo, like, listen. Yo, all right. But you know what, like, okay, my response to that, again, if there's a shortage, if there's not enough police officers to respond to the things that are going on, I have two responses to that. Then, okay, if we need to beef up the force to be able to respond to more, and I'm going to tell you something, too, that happened the other night. knuckle.
Go ahead.
Right. Yep. But my response to that, the first thing is that I don't have a problem with it. And this is the other reason. This is the other reason. I would hope, and now this is the word night. I would hope that having someone patrolling the streets that's used to being at the state level, they'll come in with a fresher set of eyes than a person that's been in the street and that's jaded. Because a lot of times it seems like the state police don't you don't, I mean, maybe because they're not in the hoods as much, you don't hear as much of them shooting people as you do. And again, I understand that they're not in the hood, so but I would hope that they'll come in with a different perspective than somebody that's been living it and in it day to day.
And I'm gonna tell you why that's worse. The shootings and shit is going to go up with that, and let me tell you why. These state troopers, they not used to being in the city. That's number one, right?
So you talking about fear?
That's that police fear, right? The police fear, right? And all. Now I ain't gonna say all. Most officers have the same mentality when it comes to black folks in the hood, in the city. They already have that mentality, because they wouldn't hire them if they didn't have that mentality. You get what I'm saying? They've been trained to have that mentality. So with that aside, what they should do, if there's a shortage of police officers, right? What they should, and then the economy is fucked up too, right? So the solution to that would be to recruit people from underprivileged neighborhoods.
I agree with that totally.
And make them police, because already they used to the neighborhood.
That's right.
They know most of the people in the neighborhood.
I agree with that
why
totally.
not let them police their own neighborhood? Why not let them I would almost guarantee that would lower the crime rate. And the simple fact is,
they wouldn't be afraid.
If you right, not only would they not be afraid, but let's say somebody was shot in the hood, right? And Officer Williams grew up in that hood. You get what I'm saying? So now I can go to Officer Williams and be like,
right, yeah,
yo,
there's little Ray.
Yo, Ray,
right.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, like, I ain't, I ain't no snitching nothing, but
right,
the boy,
that innocent girl,
down the street,
right. Yeah,
yo, man, he let that boy have it, and they was fighting over such and such.
Somebody said happy
Father's Day. You get what I'm saying?
I do, and I agree with that. I agree with that totally.
You get what I'm saying? So now,
I do.
So now, not only have you found the culprit, but after that keeps happening a couple of times,
the confidence, right? The community.
It's like now the community see like you making a change. Now it's gonna be like, well, niggas is out here snitching because Officer Williams down here, and he know this person, he know that person.
Right. He knows.
You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So now,
I wonder why never they have they. Well, wait a minute. Listen to this, Knight. No, listen to this. I'm going to job fairs in my current capacity, and we've had police officers there doing just that, trying to recruit. Nobody, the young people, they don't want to have anything to do with it, Knight.
That's because of the situations that already exist, or the mentality that already exists. It's going to have to be something different from somebody sitting at a job fair just waiting for somebody to come up. That's not how that's going to happen.
Yeah, but they're going into the schools. That's what we did. That's what we were. We were in the schools. We were in the schools. Listen to this. It was the young lady. Of course, I don't know any of their names. She was like a captain or something. She talked about it. She said, come see me. They had the community person. They even had the Marine guy, the police officers that jump in the water when someone drowns. Right. They had him there with all of his gear, talking to the young kids, saying, telling his story. Yep. Yo, None of it. And I heard the young boys. I don't want to be no cop.
Right. Why would you want to be? Why? Wait. All right. So that's the hump that they got to get over.
Mm.
Because why would a young black person want to be a cop when all they see is cops shooting people?
Well, but
That's all
because
they
the
see on
same
the news.
way,
Wait, wait. But see,
the
that's what
same
I'm
way you
saying.
just said
All
that. Go ahead.
right. Listen to this. All cops ain't bad, right?
Absolutely. Most of them probably aren't.
But the only thing that you see on the what media,
Right.
social media,
Mm-hmm.
all you see is what
Mm-hmm. The bad
cops
ones.
that's doing dumb shit.
But
Right?
as you said earlier, we know better than that, right? We know
We
better.
know better than that.
Right.
But most
Mm.
people, and that's my point.
I got
Most
you.
people
I walked
are
into that one.
brainwashed by the media, by the
Right.
people that are in
Right.
control, because they don't want these neighborhoods cleaned up. They don't. They don't. Why would they want us? Why would they want us waking up
Mm.
and then being like, oh, you know what? If we just patrol, that's too easy a solution. They
Right.
don't want that to happen. You
Yeah.
get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. I mean, like you said though, man, they're trying. I've been to a few of these events. They're putting on little block parties. They're putting on community events. Each time they're sitting there with the applications. Call me. They're giving out cards. They're trying. Let me
Yeah,
tell you the
but
story, Nike. Of course, you know what I'm talking about. Happened again,
what?
Nike. So I'm just here to remind people when something happens, say something. Make that call. They were out there racing again, Nike. But listen to this though, and this was the other reason when I said if there's a shortage. First, where I'm currently living, Nike, is on the border between Philly and like Upper Darby or something. You know, like where your son
Right,
is.
right.
Right. So when I call, I always get the Upper Darby Police Department. Always.
Right.
Where's the area? And I tell them. I give them the address.
They like, I ain't coming through there.
No, you know what they say, Nike? This
What?
is Philly. This is Philly. Hold on, I'll transfer you. The other day,
Of course,
Nike.
they don't want, and that's gonna be the problem. Like we talking about Operation Triggerlock. That's gonna be the same kind of
But again, but the reason why I think that I don't have a problem with doing it because you know how long I sat on the phone waiting for the Philly police officer to pick up. I thought I was calling somebody's crib. No, Nike. No. If this is 911, so again, something's happening, and I'm like, the phone was ringing like y'all was calling somebody's house.
I know that's what I'm saying.
No, 911 supposed to pick up on the first call, Nike. On the first ring, they supposed to pick up like, what is your emergency? Right, so I'm on the phone with the dude. I'm on the phone with the dude from the county, like, yo, I just want to know if you could send a car by. Just drive by. I mean, but because it was out of their district, they couldn't. But my point was that there must be a shortage because I mean, like it had to take about a good 5-7 minutes for them to answer the phone.
Bothered with these guys on these. First of all, these cops
they didn't know why I was calling. They didn't know it. It could have been a murder. It could have been one of them getting shot. They didn't have enough crew to answer the phone. Is my point. There must be a shortage. Yo. That has never happened before. That I've never called 911 and had to wait about 5 minutes for the operator to pick up. And I'm sitting there like,
crazy.
I'm like, this is crazy.
It's crazy.
So again, if the other thing is, like I said, when you see something happening, you have to make the call because had I not made, and I had to call twice. I called once, right? They sent somebody by, everybody left. About an hour tonight, they came back, started doing it again. I called again. They didn't come back after that. So my point is that if you sit in your crib and you allow that nonsense to happen, it's going to continue to happen.
But here's another thing too, Stace. There's so many shootings right now in Philly, and murders and robberies and carjacking and all that. It's not that they so much shorthanded. They busy as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I'm saying? So the same way you calling,
22, right?
It's probably 10 other folks on the line. Like, damn man, this nigga just carjacked me.
Right.
Damn man, this nigga just got shot. Damn man, this nigga got COVID. Damn man. So you know what I'm saying? Like,
It's a catch-22. But you know what though? One of the ways New York pulled themselves out of the slump years ago, because New York used to be trash. Even down in Center City, in Manhattan, it was terrible. They called the quality of life crimes. You know, you couldn't jaywalk. You throwing trash on the ground. They started stomping out those type of quote unquote crimes, and then the bigger crimes don't happen. Because what I thought about Nike is, here you got these dudes in the middle of the street racing. Now, if the crowd gets bigger and bigger and bigger, what's next?
Somebody gonna get ran over, or
Somebody
somebody
get
gonna
ran
get
over.
fighting, or somebody gonna get shot.
Exactly.
Whatever. Yeah,
So
like
you got to
that's the
stop it
thing.
out. You got to stop it out when it starts.
Locking people up or stopping, like the stop and frisk in New York, that was bullshit.
No, but listen
Like,
to this, Nike. Listen to this though. If you're proactive, and I'll take my example. I'll take my example and use that. Being proactive, making a call, all they had to do was drive by. Dude drove by, flashed his lights, everybody left. You don't have to get out your car. You could possibly be preventing something from happening just by having a presence. And like I
here's
said,
another thing. Here's another thing. Not depending on the police.
nice.
Where are our men at?
True.
Where are our men at? I'm gonna give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
When I forget how old I was. I was young enough to be riding a bike, like one of the bike, not a 10-speed, but the other little joints. You know what I
So
mean?
you're like
It used to have
20.
the long seat on it.
So you were like
You
20.
remember they had the long, huh?
You were like 20.
No, get out of there. You remember the bikes with the long seat?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, the
I
little
don't know how
bananas.
old I was, but I had one of them joints. And I'm riding up and down the block. I couldn't go off the block then, so I must have been young, right?
Like 20.
It was this dude that was seeing some girl at the end of my block. And he used to come through there, flying down the block. He would stop at the top of the block and be like, beep, beep, beep. And then for some reason, race down the block.
That little block, your little block?
My little block.
Your block, Pat Street, was tiny.
Right, exactly. So Erica's dad, right? He goes out there. When that guy came, he heard that beep, 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 beep. He ran out in front of the car. He got to the side of the to the driver's side. He was like, "Yo, man, my kids is out here. Race this car down this bitch one more time, and see what happened. Where's our men at?
Yeah,
where are our men? Do you think he drove that car down the street anymore?
Yeah. You know
what I mean? Or you don't even have to talk to him like that. You can be like, bro, look, you know what I mean? Try to hit him from a
black man,
a psychological perspective, or like a just out of a respect thing. Like,
unfortunately,
these guys don't got no respect.
I was gonna say that it's a different era. And unfortunately, right now I understand what you're saying. No, you're right. And unfortunately, it was a mixed crowd, so I wasn't going out there, man. They probably hung me.
That's what I'm saying. So sometimes it takes
us.
It takes that man energy, which we losing daily. We losing that man energy, that male energy.
True.
We gotta find some brothers with that male energy, and just gotta look, man. We not taking the bullshit no more. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, man. Like,
all right, man. You ready to wind it down, like?
Yeah, let's
wind it down.
I think it was a pretty good conversation. Pretty good. Hey, one thing I want to say, the book Emerald Tablets. I'm going to be reviewing this on the 29th. Get your copy and or tune in. You know what I mean? We didn't have a lot of people on the last one. I'm gonna do a couple more book reviews, but if people ain't real, I don't know. I still might do it just because I enjoy reading. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would like to get some participation, and I would like to have people start reading a little bit. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with getting a little, especially when it's something that can benefit your knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
One thing I forgot to do, and I forgot to say Happy Father's Day to all my real brothers.
Wow. Yeah, Happy Father's Day, man.
Look up. I got my Father's Day gift right here.
Wow.
Big ass coffee mug, hold like
That's
a gallon out this
yeah,
joint.
that's your crazy.
So that's my
Yeah,
Father's
I
Day
forgot all
gift.
about that, man. Happy Father's Day, man.
Yeah. And
All right.
I just want to thank everybody for joining our digital neighborhood. Um, uh, Shout out to all of the people who didn't get a chance to join us live and will be catching this podcast on the back end. Um, what else we got coming? My last thing. Keep your eye out for Real Brothers Sports. We got Real Brothers Sports coming up with a couple of our other real brothers. They're gonna have a sports show. It should be entertaining. We're trying to get that up and running by the time the NFL season gets here. So that's another. We're gonna have another. We're gonna have a sports channel. And that's the next little project we got going. So we appreciate all of y'all. Giving that a listen once we get it all set up. And lastly, just wanted to tell y'all, love is the new black.
Absolutely, absolutely. And once again, y'all, again, happy Father's Day. I don't believe we let that slip by. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. We hope you had a good one on your special day. We'd like to also thank everyone for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. We hope that, especially the conversation about the improving the man in your mirror. Take some time out. We know that it's tough. You're out there grinding. Take some time out in your quiet time to just reflect, to just think, and take an honest look at the person that stares back at you when you look in the mirror. That's big. So we hope that you're able to take something from these conversations and you've seen yourself in this dialogue. So again, we'd like to thank everybody for joining in. Don't forget to check us out on all of the major platforms. We're still asking everyone to log on to YouTube and to subscribe to the channel. We still want to get that as many subscribers as possible. And other than that, we'll see you next week, y'all.
All right. And last thing too. I'm gonna put a vote on our social media platforms to see if we should put our show back on Spotify.
Spotify. Okay.
Just
all
because Joe Rogan, it didn't make no difference, and Joe Rogan's still there. So, hey, if ain't nobody else going stop, or should it just be like a silent protest? You know what I mean? Let us know your thoughts. So
all right, we'll check out the question. That'll be on the Real Brothers Live group chat at some point. All right. So we see y'all next week. We love y'all.
Peace.
Peace.